All right, we're live. Ian is with
What's
me,
up?
and we're doing bodybuilding coverage because a lot of shit has been happening. I was on vacation with my wife in Las Vegas,
I
and
was just
during
there. I was just there right before you were.
oh really? And then of course when I'm on vacation was when old crazy things happen, you know. And I just gotta say, like, well, I'm gonna say two things about the same person. Nick Trigili is like killing it with the bodybuilding coverage. Nobody gets it out faster than him. I don't know how he does it. I don't know what he does. He's even faster than Nick Strength and Power, and he'll pump out 3, 4, 5 videos a day. The other,
Yeah, I've noticed that too, and some of the
yeah,
stuff has come from him.
and the other thing is his thumbnails are misleading. Yeah, I mean they're
Yeah,
a little misleading. Like he said,
but the funny thing is that's what makes it's called clickbait.
I know, but it annoys the shit out of me. I'm like, okay, well, it's like before, like where we were talking about Regan Grimes was on Jay Cutler's podcast and he was reporting on it, and he's like, Grimes gets heated, and I'm like, where is he getting? He didn't get heated at all. What happened? I don't. He didn't get mad at all. I don't. But I was
Right.
like, all right, whatever. But yeah, you're right. It fucking, I guess it works. I don't know. Anyway, all right. So what are we going to talk about first?
Let's talk
Grimes.
about Grimes first. We might
All
already
right.
get the guy out the bag.
All right. So I think he made a smart move personally. So
Smart, definitely,
yeah,
definitely. When he said it on the podcast himself, he said, "I've been doing 3 shows for the past
10
so many
years.
years in a row, and I don't have enough size. Yada yada yada."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that makes sense, but if you want to show, you should have just didn't do the Arnold.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. He should have right, but I think he just thought he was just going to get better without taking time off. You know well, okay. First, for people that don't know, Regan Grimes qualified for the Olympia, and he decided to pull out because he knows that the competitors now they're bigger, they're harder, and he has to put on some quality mass in order to be competitive. And I think
No,
it was
let's call a spade a spade. They're better than him.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, right now they are better than him. Yes, yeah, I agree. They are better than him right now. But in order for him to be anything competitive, he's going to have to put on some quality size. He's still a very young man, and I think it's a really, really smart move. So him and Milos, and I forgot who else was on the Jay Cutler podcast, and Cutler basically gave him his advice, and he said, take your
Do
time,
it.
put your muscle on it, do it, because well, people don't like when you listen to these old timers and they go, the guys from the 80s and 90s and whatnot, like, oh, we used to do 12 shows a year. We used to do this. The game is a different animal now, man.
Yes, it is.
It is not the same. These guys are big, big. I mean, these guys are monsters now. They come in hard. They come in round. I mean, some of them have this God-giving symmetry that is next to none, like a Andrew Jacked or a Samson Dowda, and in order to be competitive, you got to put that fucking size on. Yeah, and you'll see at the Olympia. Everybody's talking about Andrew Jack. I'm telling you, but you put him in the lineup in the Olympia, and he's gonna get smoked. It ain't gonna be easy. You
I
know?
was gonna say is that I mean, everybody's, I know a lot of people talk about him. Nick loves him,
Yeah,
but I got Samson as a dark horse. Like,
yeah. Samson's
really,
definitely a dark horse.
because if he goes in and if he's got, I mean, he's basically Ramy with better lines.
Right.
And if
Samson.
he comes in
Yeah,
with just a better back and some conditioning,
yeah.
he already takes out he takes out the top
He
name.
breaks the top five. There's no question about it. And people are sleeping on him because the last time he competed was the Boston Pro, and for some reason, bodybuilding has a very short memory.
Yep.
So like literally 1 week it's one thing, the next week it's the next thing. Now everybody's talking about Derek Lunsford and the special invite, and everybody's all up in arms about it. Well, not everybody, but some of
But
the,
it is, I mean, you got to say, when you saw him at Pittsburgh, it freaked a lot of people out.
yeah, absolutely. And it's like, look, I know you. My opinion is I don't think it's unfair because he won the 212 bodybuilding Mr. Olympia, and in my opinion, I believe that if you win it, this is just my opinion. If you win the 212 bodybuilding, you should be able to qualify for the Open. That's just my opinion because you did win like the second biggest bodybuilding prize. And I understand it doesn't work that way. I get it, but he's still going to get the special invite. Um, Now, that being said, I get when some of the bodybuilders get pissed off because he didn't go through the chain in order to qualify. You know, like
Basically, he didn't do what Clarida did. Clarida won a open
right.
show,
Yeah,
and because he won the open show, guess what happened?
right.
He got in, but now we're waiting for Jake Wood to say, "Okay, now
Yeah,
give him the option to do both." That would be the first time we're ever going to see that.
right. Exactly. And the Olympia, not the IFBB. I'm sorry. The Olympia will look like a bunch of hypocrites if they get Derek Lunsford the special invite and not allow Clarida to do both shows. And
Right. So,
people want to see it, so why not? I mean, it's good
my,
business.
right now, Carida's already just shoo-in to win.
Oh, there's no question. There's no question. I mean, everybody's talking about what's his name too, but Clarida's lines are just he's a shorter,
Ronnie
better.
Coleman.
Well, I was going to say Ronnie Coleman. I was going to say Flex. You know,
Okay.
yeah, I was going to say Flex, but same thing. He is a shorter, better quality Flex Wheeler.
If he was 6 foot, he'd be Mr. Already.
Absolutely, there's no question about it. He's flawless. He has no weak points. I've never seen a short guy with that V taper and small waist. Most of them look like fire hydrants. You know, they look blocky. You know, and he just has this God given talent. And another thing that people don't know about him because we're friends with him. You know that saying, behind every great man is a great woman?
Yeah.
His wife is a true, how can I say this? She is a true help to him in the bodybuilding world.
Oh, yeah. You see that from the videos. He says it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's like, there's times I don't talk to her, but she comes to trains with me and all this stuff. Now,
She,
the funny thing is, the babies come at the exact same time as the Olympia.
yeah, isn't that nice? I mean, well, we know him, and they're very nice people. And this is the only time that she hasn't really been training with him because she's pregnant. You know, so I notice he either trains by himself now or he got a couple of guys he trains with.
Yep.
But his wife is literally his. I don't think he could do it if it wasn't for her. He has the
She
talent.
she doesn't.
She has the talent, but she trains with him every day. Well, used to until she was pregnant. She preps all his food. She basically is the person behind the scenes that is the management, if you will, you know. And to me, that's what a wife should do, you know. And then he takes his talent and runs with it. And to me, they're like the power couple of bodybuilding. But no,
Who's the same way too?
who
Ian and Melissa.
really?
Yeah.
I don't know them too well, so I don't know.
All
But
right.
it might
So
be.
I watch Bro Chat all the time.
Yeah, I stopped watching it. I just haven't watched it. But go
I'm
ahead.
telling you, man, you would get a lot of information because they show all the show. They show all they do a lot of predictions to themselves, but
Right.
you can see who's who and what's what going on. And Ian said, one of the parts he was saying was that him and Melissa, when he met her, I think he won Junior Nats of Canada. And she says, I see that you have this passion for bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
Go and do it.
Right.
And he's like, all right. And this is before Chris got into the game with him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
so she pushes him. She pushed him. And he says, like they were talking about, like, what would you do without your significant other? He goes, I probably won't be bodybuilding, he said.
Yeah. Your wife should be able to your wife should be able to one help you, but at the same time also make you want to go out and conquer, but not by emasculating you, right?
No, right.
So there are plenty of girls that will emasculate you and say you ain't shit and blah blah blah, blah so on and so forth. But the girls that go out and say, like, let's say Ian loses a show, you know, and she goes, don't worry, next time it'll be better. You're going to work on this, you're going to work on that, and they won't be able to stand next to you on stage. It's the equivalent if you and I lost a job.
Yep.
And your wife says, all right, you're going to find a better job and we're going to be fine because you're a strong man and they don't know what they're missing. Right. But a lot of girls would be like, what the hell did you do? You lose that job. You're a loser, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Right.
Mhm.
And when you have that type of woman in your corner, and you have the talent and the ability and the drive, there's nothing stopping you. There really isn't. There's nothing stopping you, and that's what I see with Clarida firsthand and his wife. And the
Yep.
last, and I want to get them both on. You know, I actually I had to make a promise to me that because I asked him if he had any contract with podcasts, and he said no. And I said, promise me when you win the 212 Olympia this year that I'll be the first one you come on. He's like, okay, no problem. You know,
Hey, are you going tomorrow to the signature event?
no, I'm actually working tomorrow all day.
Okay, because they say he's going to be there, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
And then because I'll see the new rooms and all that new stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on for that. So for people, if you don't know, if you don't follow Signature or follow Signature Fitness I'm putting a plug in for them.
Sorry.
Signature Fitness on Instagram. They're gonna have a block party tomorrow from 11 to 3.
Oh,
Um,
that's nice. Yeah,
and it's a free day, like stuff for the kids, for the adults.
that's nice.
Training day. We're just gonna just have fun.
Right, right, right.
Needless to say, fun day. I'm gonna go in there. I'm training, but I'm also filming in there too.
Oh, very cool, man. Very cool.
Yeah, so that's. I mean, I was like, I'm going to Signature. Let me go film one, and then I'm hitting back in Hams.
Yeah.
Go have
So,
fun in there. I'll see
yeah,
Shaun, say what's up to him, whatnot.
yeah. Sean, he's a great guy, and no matter how big he gets, his head doesn't get big. You know what I mean? He's the
Right.
same. He's the same guy I knew when he won the fucking the East Coast. Whatever it is, whatever Maz's show is.
All right. So you want to laugh at something? You want to really laugh at something?
Go ahead.
So I happen to watch Nick and BS, whatever the podcast is. Nick
Okay.
Trujillo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they had the men's physique kind of like five. It was like five men's physique competitors, and there was a guy, Tariq Gundy, Tamarin's brother.
Okay.
You know who Tamar is, right? He's a former IV pro. He's a judge now.
Okay.
So they had the little round table talking, yada yada yada, and so it was the men's physique. So you already know it's gonna be funny for me.
Mm.
They had a hissy fit match, and it was the best thing since sliced bread.
Really?
Oh yeah, like because Nick showed it. So is Jeremy, Brandon. So you got two Mr. O's already there.
Right, right, right.
Aaron Banks, who won the Arnold this year.
Okay.
Diago, I don't know his last name is. I mean, I don't know men's physique. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, though. I don't know men's physique either. Yeah.
And so the guy, Chiron, he won a New York Pro.
Physique?
Physique. Yeah, they're all men's physique.
Okay, so Brandon was the only one that wasn't men's physique.
No, Brandon Hendricks.
Wrong Brandon. Too. I'm sorry, wrong Brandon. I apologize.
Yeah, wrong Brandon.
Okay.
They were talking. You could tell, everything's going all right. And then you see the body language that Aaron Banks gets. And then you see the arrogance comes out when he's like, well, I done this. I won the Arnold. I won Boston. I don't need nothing. I don't need to prove nothing. I'm going to come there and I'm going to win and take his title. Brandon and Jeremy looking like, bruh, what are you talking about? He's like, you said the Arnold and Boston? He's like, I got 4. He's got 3. He's got 2018, 2020, 2020, 2021 Olympia.
Right.
You haven't even done nothing yet.
Right.
Relax.
Yeah.
And it was just the way they were going out. I was like, I couldn't stop laughing because it's like.
Yeah, I'm not a big men's physique fan, and
me either. But but I think
know,
just kind of funny when you see it. You're like,
but yeah,
guys, calm down.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be confident. Don't get me wrong, but there's just a way to go about things.
Oh no, this was sheer arrogance.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's what I mean. There's way like Nick Walker is confident. You could tell. He says he's going to win the Olympia all day long, but it's the way he goes about it that he's not disrespectful about it. Do you know what I mean? Like even when he had that thing with what was the guy's name last year? The guy who just won the New York Pro this year, the bodybuilder.
Oh, Blessing.
It was all done in jest. Do you know what I mean? And even when they went back and forth, it was done in jest, and it was nothing.
But even he said that. He goes, I love Blessing. He's just not ready to come on my level yet.
Yeah, exactly. And it's true. Although this year, Blessing looked fucking good.
He looked good, but I don't think he came it to me. The people that someone who doesn't like him or doesn't seem like he doesn't like him is Ian.
Yeah, you know who else doesn't like Blessing? And I mean, you could just watch my last interview with him, Charles Griffin.
Yeah, a lot of people think he's more all talk, no show.
Well, from what I understand, he's the loudest person in the back, and he's got a little bit of like he jokes like when you have somebody that jokes too much and he's loud and he's obnoxious, and that's what it seems to me. That's the word that I get. And I don't know the guy from a hole in the wall. He might be the nicest guy in the world. I'm just getting it
Right.
secondhand.
Actually, I met him.
Did you? How? I'm sure he was a nice guy.
I met him at FitCon.
Oh, okay, okay. No, I never.
I have a video. I have a video. Maybe I'll send it to you. This was maybe. I hope I still have it, but I know I did a YouTube vlog for it, and and I saw him the week before I saw Nick,
Right.
and I said, Nick, Bless has got something to say. I have it on video. He goes, I don't talk to guys who are beneath me.
That's what he said.
Yeah. And I said,
That's
no,
funny.
take it. Okay. Like, that's made of funniest shit.
Yeah.
And then Ian, and then Ian goes, oh, he's like, wow, he's a good WWE wrestler with a decent bodybuilding body.
Yeah.
I mean, because like you said,
right.
You won 2 shows where there's not too many people were in it.
Yeah. No, the Olympia and the Arnold especially the Olympia. It is a different world. That the guys that'll win the Indie Pro, some of them, they can't even break the top 10 in the Olympia. You know what I mean? I'm not saying whoever won the blessing, but I'm just saying that the guys that come in the top 2, top 3 in your regular show, the New York Pro, the Chicago Pro, they go on the Olympia stage, they get fucking smoked. It's a different story, dude. It is no joke. You're talking about the best in the world. And you can just look at the top 5 from top 6. You just look at the top 6 and you're like, these guys, it's probably going to be pretty similar, But there's guys coming out of the woodwork now that are really fucking good, man.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, if you look at the top, let's say top 10 are heads, of course. Yeah. I mean, now you got to throw Derek into the mix of the top 10.
Yeah, the people are going to get knocked out this year. There's no question about it. People are definitely going to get knocked out. Derek's going to do damage. Samson's going to do damage. Nick Walker obviously is going to do damage, but he's from last year. I don't think Andrew Jack is going to do as much damage as people think. I think he has a beautiful physique. I just think he needs more muscle to fill out that physique to be competitive at the Olympia. That's
right. I think he's got to be a lot. I think he's got to be more crisper than what he was before.
Yeah.
But someone to me that as I look at the Arnold UK, their lineup, and supposedly he's doing it now. He's back to doing it.
Oh, he's back. Really?
Yeah, I think he's back to doing it.
Okay.
I think Mark Hector's going to destroy him.
Mark Hector's another guy. The improvements he made, and that just goes to show you Regan Grimes made the right move because Mark Hector took 2 years off. And nobody was even talking about him. I remember when I first saw him, like, hey, he's all right. Now, you look at him, you go, Jesus Christ. Look at the improvements this guy's made.
Brandon Curry 2.0.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I mean, you're like, and I apparently heard he's young too.
Yeah. Yeah. Who is the guy that just won the Yamamoto Pro? I know he's a Middle Eastern guy.
Vlad.
He's a Middle Eastern guy. Am I right or Russian?
I think he's Russian, but I think he is. But
I think you're right. I think he's like Eastern European. He's either Russian or Ukrainian or Chechen or something like that. He's another guy I never heard of until he won the Yamamoto Pro, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah,
these guys are coming out of the fucking woodwork, dude. Like they are no joke.
What makes it crazy?
The globe too. I mean, they're coming from everywhere.
But what makes it crazy is that if you look at the lineup, you're like this, yo, there's gonna be like 20-something competitors,
right?
Or damn near close to it, and you're like, all these guys want to show whatever they did. You're like, yo, some of y'all are not even going to be even close.
Yeah, it's the God's honest truth. It really is. You never want to see it, but it's true. I think a lot of guys are going to get knocked out. I think guys that broke the top 10 last year. You know who else I think people are sleeping on? I think William Bonac. I think William Bonac has something to prove after he lost the Arnold.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's like Does William coming back at 6? Is he going to knock out, or does someone else take him out? It's like you said,
Yeah.
you got a lot going on because
Yeah.
even
Absolutely.
even just think about this. The top. I think the top 8 was I think Justin Rodriguez was number 8.
Yeah.
He's not even close to any of these
No.
guys
No.
now.
No. Yeah. No. He. I don't know if he's doing it as of last time. He wasn't doing it. I'm not 100% sure if he's doing the Olympia or not. But
Yeah, I don't think so either. But
I
like I
don't.
said,
I don't think his structure. I mean, he's got all the size in the world. I don't think his structure and his conditioning will carry him far in the Olympia. It's just too competitive. It's just too
like
competitive.
right now, having Derek in, having Samson in. I mean, if you think about it, that's 9 right there.
Right. 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 Yeah.
Because I'm going to count the 1 through 7 who already are there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Then, if you think about the person who wins the Arnold UK, let's say it could be Mark Hector, it could be James,
Yeah.
and
James. Yeah.
he
Good.
looks phenomenal.
James has
So
got
you got
another guy that's got something to prove. The only thing I understand is that he's training himself.
yeah, so he got rid of Patrick,
Yeah.
and I mean he's doing the diet by himself. But I think he's also has a watchful eye is JP.
Oh well, that's good. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
because I know he goes to his gym like once a week over there.
oh good.
So I
Good.
think he's his watchful eye.
Oh good. Because you need somebody to tell you you got to do this, you got to do that. You can't. I mean that. A blessing was proof positive that if you have the right guy in your corner, you can make significant changes. And when he picked up George Farrell last year, I mean, he was like a different dude. And
Shoot, Derek was too.
right, right, yes, yes. Derek Lunsford, same thing, right? Yeah. The only thing that with Derek that annoys me is like, why didn't you just say if I get the special invite, I'm doing the open? Like, why did you like? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know.
We all know you're doing it.
Yeah, seriously, you're fucking almost 300 pounds. Give me a break. What is it? 260, whatever, 265, whatever he was. I mean, he looked bigger than everybody else in the Pittsburgh NPC, whatever NPC show it was. I don't remember, but it's fucking. Oh no, it's Pittsburgh Pro, right?
No, it was it was Pittsburgh Pro, but with that, it's a whole thing.
Yeah. So I mean, I mean, he looked amazing. It just looked. And I remember having this conversation with Clarida. I'm like, if he does 212, he's just gonna look like a string bean at this. And Clarida was like, yeah, if he does 212, he put on so much weight. In order for him to come down, I know I could beat him. But if he does the open, we were talking about it, and of course we knew he was going to do the open. I mean, Hani is not a stupid man. Hani, I call him Ramrod because it sounds like a porno star. Hani Ramrod.
Yeah, or Rambone.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. But he is not a stupid man. He's been in the game a long time. He knows how it works, so on and so forth. But I just,
well,
I don't know. I'm like,
speaking of Honda, he's now the title. I would say I think. He's the title sponsor of the Arnold next year.
is he really?
Yeah.
That means he's making some big money. That's what that
Well,
means.
okay. So here's the thing. Now you know that Evage is now in Dallas.
Right. Okay.
So I saw him when I was in Texas.
Okay.
So you got to think, what does Texas have? No state tax,
Right. Okay. Right. Which makes a lot of sense.
and it's cheaper to live out there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Then you got to think you got figure O, 212O. You got a couple other people that you're gonna have,
Right.
and then like the gyms. I know like Absolute. I think it's called Absolute Recomp, whatever it is. That gym supplies all the stuff.
Right. Right.
So they're gonna, and because he does a lot of videos over there, there's a deal going on.
Mm-hmm.
But let's start from everything from the top. Let's start with Ramy. Wow.
Yeah, he looks insane.
Wow.
Yeah, he looks insane. I don't think he stays on track. I don't think anybody's beating him if he stays on track. The only problem with Ramy is that you got to spoon feed him. He needs Chad and
Dennis.
Dennis to literally put a leash on him and drag him to the gym and make him eat what he's got to eat and do the cardio. Otherwise, he's not going to do it. But at least he's smart enough to know that. And he's like, okay, I don't have the discipline. I need guys to watch me. And he got two of the best guys in the game to do it, you know?
Definitely.
So at least he's smart enough to realize it.
Did you see Big Bad Wolf is in Dallas?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe he looks so athletic now. He doesn't look like a bodybuilder at all anymore.
Isn't this crazy? Like how people are like, how we saw them. We're like,
Yeah.
yo, Dennis Wolf, holy shit.
Yeah.
Now you're like, wow.
Yeah, because you still look at Jay. Jay's still big. You still look at Branch. Branch is still big. Still look at Johnny Jackson. Johnny Jackson's still big. And Dennis Wolf is like, I don't know if it was intentional or not. I mean, he still works out clearly. I mean, he still has a great physique, but he literally looks like a men's physique guy now. You know?
I think I think once he got hurt,
Yeah,
I think it was hurt, and I think also, all right, I'm not gonna do well. You know what? Let me downsize.
yeah. I agree. I agree. Do you know what I was thinking about when that 2020 COVID thing happened and not too many guys were in the Olympia? I wonder if Dennis Wolf, because he only retired, what, a year or two before that?
Yeah,
I,
probably so.
I wonder if Dennis Wolf was like, man, if I was healthy, I could have fucking won that.
I think a lot of people would say the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Because in his prime, Dennis Wolf was just, the only thing he had high lat insertions,
And
but
no caps. And I
and
mean,
yeah, okay, but calves don't
but
mean,
we're not even looking at that.
yeah, calves don't even fucking mean shit anymore. But his quads and his V taper and his front double bi. When he did his front double bi, he like took over the whole stage. He was so wide. He had so much mass on him. But
Shoot, just imagine Dallas McCarver was alive.
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
What he
And
would have done.
oh, you know what? I interviewed Dom Trivellini, the guy who won the heavyweight North Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knew Dallas for a little bit, and you know what he told me? He told me that he used to wear sweatpants, whatever, joggers or sweatpants, whatever, and he wouldn't be able to pull them down past his calves. He would have to wear sweatpants and pull them up to his knees and wear them like that because it wouldn't fit him right. Yeah, he was a
Well,
big boy.
he was definitely like, you were like, wow.
Yeah,
Strong.
him, the guys, the two guys in that era that impressed me, the two young guys, was him and help me out here. Oh, there was another guy that was coming up with him that I don't know why, but also retired. But he was a monster, and he also did the Arnold. Help me out here. Fuck.
I'm trying to think now because that is
I,
so many.
I think he was with Gat for a little while, but he was a white guy, kind of like similar to Dallas. He was. Oh, what the fuck was his name? Shit, I don't fucking remember. I'm never
Don't
gonna.
worry about it. It'll
Yeah,
come. Watch
yeah,
when you leave the podcast, you
yeah.
like,
I'll
hey,
text you. I'll be like, yeah,
yeah.
exactly, yeah. All right. So what other bodybuilding info do we got besides we had Derek, we had Regan, we had the gossip with the physique boys.
Yep.
We talked about the
Um.
dog courses in the Olympia.
Okay,
And
so Brett Wilkins is competing within the next few weeks.
really,
Yeah.
so he's another guy. I totally forgot about him. That guy comes in. That guy comes in sharp. He's hard to beat, man. He's another guy. He didn't have a
He
good outing at the Arnold, but
right.
last year when
So
he
what?
did the Chicago Pro, he come in. Was it the Chicago Pro? I don't remember. He
Yeah,
came
the
in.
Chicago Pro last year, he
Yeah,
got
he came
like,
in second, right? I'm pretty
yeah, I
sure
think
it was second.
second.
Yeah.
He had a mulligan at the Arnold
Right. Yeah.
because I know he was talking to because him and Nick were training together
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking about how Nick's like, I'm getting ready. He's like, I'm so many weeks after the Olympia, and I think he's doing some European show.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows. I think there's 5 or 6 shows left before the Olympia. There's plenty of time, because the Olympia this year is in December. So
I was supposed to go. I'm not going now because of work.
yeah, listen. As much as I would love to go, I can't go to Vegas all the time. Because I like to gamble a little bit, and when I'm there, I'm going to want to, and I'm not a good gambler. Put it that way. And it's
Well,
hard. It's hard to go
speaking
to
of Vegas,
Vegas and go, I'm not going to the casino. Go ahead.
so speaking of Vegas, I got a deal with bulk supplements.
Oh, that's cool.
So I happen to, they reached out to me. We were talking, and once we started talking here and there, It's like, yeah, let's do it. And now I'm part of their team and everything like that. So, I got a lot of stuff and they hooked me up. That's why I don't know if you saw my couple of things I posted with their
I did.
stuff.
Yeah. Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I went to their headquarters,
Which is where?
and it's in Henderson, which is right outside of Vegas.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So when I was in Vegas, I was like really going. I was doing one thing, and then
Right.
they were like, "Hey, come to the HQ." I was like, Psh.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's cool.
Went there, met the social media director, met the marketing people, and all that stuff. They're really cool about it. They were like, "Hey, um, whatever you want, come get." Like,
That. Yeah.
supplements wise.
Do you know how much money I spend on supplements? It's unbelievable. Like how it's because as you get older, I don't skip the regular supplements. The vitamins, the minerals, the CoQ10, the what do you call it?
There's everything.
Fiber. I don't skip that. That's a constant because I'm 46 years old now, and I know I'm good friends with Arns, and we have the podcast we do together twice a month, bodybuilding talk. But I don't like asking him. I know he would send me shit, but I feel funny asking him. I don't like doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
definitely good to me.
so on the sneak tip, without telling him, I buy stuff. Um, Sometimes I even buy it from his site. I just don't tell him it's me.
Yeah.
I just
So
feel bad.
that's what made it
Fucking
funny too. Because I like with them, I get my discounts and all that shit.
yeah,
And it was like, hey, what do the guy's like, well, what do you need? He had a little bag for me and everything, and I had a duffel bag with me because I knew what I wanted.
yeah, right, 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 right,
And
right.
the guy's like, oh, get what you want. I said, I have a list.
Yeah,
He goes, you do? I go, yeah, I've been researching your stuff as we were talking, see what you had, everything.
mm,
And what I did was I started diagnosing my how you look at pre-workouts and you look at all supplements, right?
right, right.
And shout out to Patrick from Aries Nutrition because he'll tell you this is what you need to look for certain products.
Yeah, he's good like that. Yeah,
So when he told me that,
he's been on my show.
right? Oh, yeah, I told you about him.
Yeah, that's right. You did. Yeah,
So when I started looking at all the stuff I needed, I said, okay, well, I know I can't put this all in one product like I'm going to make. So I'm going to make my stack
right, right, right.
of whatever I can get. And so I did was, okay, I was like, I need this. It literally had a list.
Yeah, if you have a legitimate sponsor, that's fine. You know.
And literally, it looked like, so I came to the airport. It was funny because you'd been laughing at me. Actually, the girl helped me out because I had two giant boxes in my hand. And it was like this.
That's great though, dude.
And the girl's like this. She goes, are you okay with this? I said, I was going to the Uber. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going
Right,
to put it
right.
in my room and like that. The bag, so after I, did the display and everything like that, just the one bag alone, a duffel bag, weighed 40 pounds.
Jesus Christ, what the hell did you take?
And then I still had stuff in my carry-on.
Holy shit.
But from Patrick was saying, like, this is what you need to look for, like, your stack. So I
Right.
was getting citrulline, taurine, all, beetroot powder. I mean, I'm talking about, like, I did. And so also what I did was I took a lot of the information from Hostile's pre-workout because they're all in one.
Yeah, I understand they have a great pre-workout, but I have not tried it yet.
I haven't tried it yet either.
I
But
use I use Owens' pre-workout, which is pretty
so
good to be
there's
honest.
certain things that now I look at pre-workouts, I go underdose, 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 underdose,
Oh, right,
underdose.
right, 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 right.
So now what I do is I take, let's say I'm just saying, give an example. I take a sample, and what I'll do is I'll add the shit I got to make it the right dose for me.
Right, right, right. I got you.
And now I know it's clinically dosed.
Right, 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 right. Yeah.
So I've worked with bulk supplements, and now
That's
I mean
great.
they hooked me up with, like I said, they gave me a lot of stuff, and I've done 2 videos for them. I'm about to do a third video. Actually, I'm going to do so I did a pre-workout one.
Hmm.
I have an intro one coming out probably this weekend, or maybe like the latest is early next week.
Right, right,
And
right.
I'll do a post-workout one too, like a post-workout stack. This is what I take,
Ah, okay.
and people will see like, oh, like, you
Yeah.
know, you can know legit shit from from not legit shit.
Right, right, right.
Like
Yeah.
I literally takes me like I think it was like 8 products I took to make the ideal pre-workout.
Well, that's fucking great. You got more patience than I do. I don't do that. I like Jason Ons's Rogue Pro, the
Mhm.
I Prevail subs, and to me, it works well because it doesn't make me crazy, but at the same time, it doesn't. You know, I've taken pre workouts where nothing happens. It's like the right amount of energy for me. So
Like
I
literally, I'm putting in like okay, like 3.2 grams of beta. Like I'm literally like
uh,
measuring.
you're a better man than me. I would never in a million years do that.
Like I know it's 6 grams of citrulline. I know it's 2 grams of taurine.
Right, right,
I know it's a gram of this and a little bit of this, and some stuff is like serving size, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
But the stuff I know it's whatever it's supposed to be clinically wise.
yeah.
That's what I'm putting in.
I don't think a lot of people realize how good you are at this. When it comes to the supplements and even the training, you're fucking really good. Like last time we worked out together, whenever it was last year, the year before, whatever it
Yeah,
was. I mean, I still utilize the movements that you showed me. I still use them because it was like, oh wow, okay, this feels good. This is I don't think people realize how good you really are. At at the actual training and the supplementation. You're fucking because you do the research and you're a hardcore fan, but then you put it to use. Do you know what I mean? And it shows in your videos and it shows when I work out with you. But I don't I don't think people don't think people realize how good you really are because you're definitely better than a good personal trainer, right?
right,
But if but of course you're not George Farah, right?
right.
You know, but you're better than all the trainers in Signature. Put it that way. like literally, But it is what it is. But no, okay. So next topic, are we gonna do the Arnold Classic lineup that we got, the unofficial one, or
Yeah,
you want
we did.
what?
Yeah, I have it on my phone as I'm looking at it on my other phone right now,
Okay, so this is
and
unofficial.
unofficial because they don't have Andrew Jack on this lineup yet. Okay, back
Okay,
on. Okay,
so now yeah, anything could change from now to the Arnold too.
right. So apparently, the only American is Martin.
Fitzwater,
Yeah,
who I like a lot as a bodybuilder, like him a
right.
lot. Yes,
So he's the only American doing this.
as of now, okay. I think that'll change, but as of now, right now, okay,
But everybody else is European, of course.
okay,
All right. So if you look at it, I'm talking about, and this is only talk about the names that we know of. Okay,
right.
James, Hollinsfield.
I hope he fucking does it, man. He
Okay,
needs to do a show in the States besides the Olympia.
right. So
You know?
him. You have Jamie the Giant from Newton,
Okay.
lined up by Heydecke.
Get the fuck out of here again. Oh, why is that guy? That guy needs to go get a CDL license and drive a truck or something.
All right, Mark Hector.
Okay,
Like
that's all right.
like I said, Martin Fitzwater
Mm-hmm.
and Hustan Mustafa.
So that's a short list. Things are going to
No,
change.
no, no. I mean, there's plenty more. There's like Munzer, Presti,
Oh,
and a
okay.
couple of people. I'm talking about the names that we would know of.
Presti's pretty good. That Italian bodybuilder.
Yeah, but
He's pretty damn
that's a
good.
that's a. I mean, but that okay. So I mean, if you really look at that lineup, just from the first glance, and we're not counting now. Let's say if Andrew Jack shows up,
Right.
okay, you got a top five. That's going to be a pretty good top five.
Yeah. Right.
And I mean, you could do whatever order you want. I got a feeling Mark Hector wins. I think Mark Hector, James, Martin, Andrew, because the only reason why I'm going to give Andrew Jack fourth is because it was you didn't know about his visa thing,
Right.
so you didn't know if he was training for it or was he trained just for the O.
Okay. I think yeah. I think if Mark Hector is a tough one to beat. I think if James comes in 100% or even 95%, he's he's going to be tough to beat.
Because now
But
between Martin and James, what makes a great lineup is this: you got a guy who's got the door. So let's say with James, you got thickness,
mhm.
matured muscle, conditioning.
Right.
With Mark, you got size, lines, full belly,
Yeah, symmetry,
pretty aesthetics,
balance. Yeah, absolutely.
balance.
Yeah,
So I mean, Mark's legs could be better, of course, because he's the height, but just what he's done so far,
that guy puts 10, 15 pounds of muscle on. It's lights out. It's lights out.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
You remember how Roden was
right. Yes, yes, exactly. Right. Yes, good, really
when
good
Roden
steroid.
put that weight on and he looked right. Everybody like this. What
Lights
the fuck?
out. That's it. Yeah, and I think Hector and Samson Dowda are on that same pathway. Where it's like, okay, they're not superstars from the jump, but if they put the work in, you could look at and say you're 100% right. Because when I first saw Shaun Roden, I'm like, yo, this guy puts on a little bit more size and improves his back. It's fucking lights out, and it was like nobody touched him that Olympia. Nobody touched him.
I was there at the Olympia,
Yeah,
and I got a picture with him. I was like, this was, when I saw him, I said, "Ooh, he's dialed in."
yeah. His silhouette when he came out, it was like, wow. I mean, he was just picture perfect. It was unbelievable. It was flawless. He was absolutely flawless. He like when Phil used to come out like 2012 or 2013. I used to be like, oh, that's it, he won. And I had the same feeling when Roden came out that year. What was it? 2019,
2018.
2018. When he came out in 18, I was like, yeah, this it's over. It's over. That's it. I think a 2018 Roden could beat. I mean, I think he could beat a big Rammy.
Yeah, especially because he was in condition. He had the sucked in face,
Yeah,
and now, like I said, what being back there just reminiscing, you can see where Phil was pumping, sweating, so
yeah.
much water was coming out.
His
Roden
stomach
was
was so
dry and
distended.
looking at him like, "Come on,
Yeah,
bro."
yeah, yeah. His stomach was so distended. You know, and it's not uncommon for that happened to Yates. It happened to Ronnie Coleman. That's not uncommon. You know what I mean? As you get older, your waist gets thicker. It's just it
But
is what it
also,
is.
as you get bigger, sometimes your lines go
Yes,
away.
yeah, absolutely. Yes, no question. And that's what makes the competition today so great is that the guys are big and they got lines and they got symmetry. It's unbelievable. Um, what do you think of Jamie the Giant? Give me your honest opinion because I have my opinion, but I want to hear yours first. Yours first.
All right, so I would say he definitely put on a lot of size. He
Yeah,
definitely has a lot of key parts,
mm,
but because he's 6'5",
exactly.
those legs are not going to fill in.
I don't think
It's not
he's
going.
gonna.
It's going
Yeah,
to take a lot longer because of his size.
yeah. I don't think he's going to have the time as a human being to put on the size he needs at 6'5". I
Right.
mean, is he a good bodybuilder? He's decent. You know what I mean? He's not a shit bodybuilder. I've seen worse, but he's decent. But my thing is, I understand. Everybody wants to chase their dreams and so on and so forth. There comes a time where you got to be realistic. How long do you bang your head against the concrete until you realize, like, okay, this isn't happening? You know what I mean? And that's just my honest opinion. Now, I could be wrong. Next year, he could put on 20 pounds and fucking smoke everybody because he's got good lines and symmetry and so on and so forth. But when you see him on stage, and you'll see it at the Arnold
We'll
UK,
see. We'll see you next
you'll
week.
see it. He comes on stage and he just looks small compared to the other guys, because he's so damn tall. Like now, a guy like Andrew Jack, who's what is he 6'2" or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a different animal. Somebody like that, he's just a gifted human being. That's
Well,
that's
because he has good. His quads are great. I mean, his legs are good. They're not
mhm.
great, but they're good.
Yeah,
But the one thing he has is round muscle bellies and the
right.
aesthetics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But you get someone like Mark Hector who looks just like him
yeah. Mark
and can
Hector.
smoke him.
Yeah, the Mark Hector. The improvements were just. It's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to this one. I really would like to see. I'm excited to see what Mark Hector looks like. I'm excited to see what James looks like. I'm excited to see if Fitzwater could make any more changes in the small period of time because he looked really good. And that guy's only
Yeah.
25 years old.
The only thing that you could tell, like he could have won that show, but the only thing you could tell what happened was he lost a little arm size doing the front double, and his quads flattened out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's one of the rare bodybuilders where, as of right now, I truly believe in another couple of years, he's going to make tremendous change. Only 25 or 26 or something like that.
But he's working with the right person. He's working with Branch.
Yeah, and Brian Dobson. And if
Yeah.
anybody,
So
he's the
you
only one.
know,
He's one of those rare guys where, as of right now, not 2 years from now, his back is a lot better than his front.
yeah.
Like when he turns around, you're like, oh shit, you know. And his front is like his front double by. It's like okay, we needed to work a little bit. But
Oh,
that
I
being
know. I know what you got to talk about. After you were talking about this, I got a good one for you. We're going to talk about.
okay, he's another guy that I truly believe that where even though he could put on some more size, but it's going to be muscle maturity that is going to take him to the next level. And he's only 25. By the time that guy is 30, if he keeps going the way he's going, he's going to be another guy that's really fucking dangerous, man.
I wouldn't even
Really
wait to
dangerous.
30. I would say maybe at 27, 28.
Yeah, yeah. If he keeps on pushing the way he's pushing, I can't. If you're a bodybuilding fan right now, you are in the midst of another golden era. There are so many fucking quality bodybuilders out there coming from all parts of the planet. I mean,
And you forget there's people who still haven't competed yet, who are still like putting on their size on. Like I like the guy Justin Shire.
okay, I have to look him up. I didn't see him.
He's part of the bro chat.
Okay,
He's he won he won last year's nationals heavyweight.
okay,
When you see his shape,
okay.
you really is wow.
Yeah, you didn't have this talent in early to mid 2010, 2008. You didn't have this much talent. You had good bodybuilders. Don't get me wrong. You had Jay and you had Phil was coming up and Kai was coming up. But it's back then it was more quality over quantity. Now you have quality and quantity.
Yeah,
And I think it's because the sport is globalized.
yeah.
It's completely globalized. And I mean, they're coming from Canada, they're coming from the UK, they're coming from the Middle East, they're coming from Eastern Europe, they're coming from
South America.
South America, they're coming from Nigeria. They're coming from all United States, obviously. It's just a huge wealth of talent out there, and I don't think enough people are realizing it. I think the old timers still going, oh, the guys in the past. It's kind of like when they compare LeBron to like Michael Jordan, and they go, LeBron ain't shit compared to Jordan, and you kind of hear that over and over and over again, and it's blah blah blah. And I'll say, I mean, I don't have a big podcast. I'll say it. Everybody loves Lee Priest. Wasn't a big fan because he never brought his hams and his glutes in. I mean, they
Like
were
he was a freak. He was a freak
yeah,
for his size.
clearly, but he was always smooth from the waist down. Not so much his quads, but when he turned around, like
That's that's why guys like Shaun Clarida would eat him alive.
yeah, exactly. Now that being said, we don't know how good he would do in 212 because when you diet down that hard, then you have no choice but to come in shape. But
Right.
I am of the opinion that Lee Priest did just enough to get on stage, and if you listen to what his diet, and if you even remember the Road to the Olympia, remember those videos, the Road to the
Oh
Olympia?
yeah, of course, of course.
The only guys I remember working out hard to the Road to the Olympia was like Ronnie and like and
Chris Cormier.
yeah, Chris Cormier and King Kamali. Those are the only guys I remember. But when you see Lee Priest working out, like he's literally going through the motions. And I'm like, But
Well, except for Tom Platz. Did Tom Platz get him on leg day?
I don't know. I don't know. See, now you're talking. Okay, now you're talking about a different time period. In the
I know,
'80s,
I know, I know.
in the early '80s, you had guys that it was in the early '80s. You had more guys that were more. They were outworking each other than out
Yep.
talenting each other. Like there was no way a Frank Zane should have been Mr. Olympia, but he literally outworked and came in at a good time. Arnold was gone, Franco was gone, Lou Ferrigno was in Hollywood, and he came in and he literally just outworked him. And he had this beautiful body and symmetry and shape and lines, and he busted his ass in the gym. And the same thing with like Tom Platz. And you see these guys when they used to train, if you have little video clips back then, it was, and they would train for hours all day long. It was ridiculous. It was fucking ridiculous, you know? and you didn't have like great talent in the '80s until Lee Haney came along, but they were kind of like I said, they were they were outworking each other. What's his name was another one? Oh God, a guy with the mustache.
Oh, Leo Labrada?
No, not Lee Labrada, but him too. I'm thinking of Michael, the guy
Mike,
who
Mike Christian?
no, he came a little later. He was like the early '90s.
Yeah.
The guy who
Oh,
basically,
Mike Mentzer
yeah, Mike Mentor is another
and
guy.
his brother Ray. Both of them.
Right. Yeah, Mentor was a guy that was like he could have probably been Mr. Olympia, but he just got a bad taste in his mouth with the politics when it came with the
He
the
got a
arm.
bad taste when Arnold took that one in 80.
Yeah. But when you look at him and you go, and what was funny about him is out he didn't outwork everybody. He outthought everybody. He was one of the
Right.
first guys to go, "You guys are doing this wrong. You shouldn't be in the gym 6 hours a day." He was one of the first guys to go an hour or two a day. That's it.
If that.
If that, yeah, right. And it fucking worked. And when he showed up at that Olympia, you were like, God damn. But he knew when Arnold showed up at the press conference, it was over. It was over. You know.
And he knew right there, he goes, fuck.
Yeah, he
Like,
knew right away.
and
Yeah.
it was politics after that because we all knew Arnold should have won that show.
Yeah. He
But
was
they
like,
going to give it to him because it's Arnold.
yeah, it was like 20 pounds lighter at the time, you know. It was ridiculous. I think he got done shooting the Terminator and Conan and, just decided to jump in it again. And then even the year after that with Franco,
Right.
Franco's legs were down for an injury he did with the World's Strongest Man, and he had bad gyno. And, he probably shouldn't have won, but they gave it to him. So it is what it is. Look, Franco in the '70s was fucking lights out. And he dominated the under 200 category. There's no question about it. I mean, I was a bigger fan of his than Arnold because I always liked that thick, fucking dense muscle, that crazy muscle.
Especially when he did his rear lat spread, it looked like a fucking
Oh,
bat.
it was ridiculous. It was absolutely
You're right.
ridiculous. But sometimes they give it to you because you've been in the game too long, and it's like here. It's kind of like the Oscars. This guy's been acting for 10 years already. Give him one.
Right. Just give him one. Yeah.
Yeah, like when DiCaprio won for that.
All right. So
That
I got two things to talk about.
all right, go ahead.
First one, you hear about Breon, right? You thought going back to the 212?
Okay, all right, yeah, go ahead.
You're 42 years old
Yeah,
or 43. You came from 212
right.
to go to Classic, and you did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
You were number one in the world.
Mhm.
Now, if you go back to 212, you're done.
Yeah, you see, here's what I think a lot of bodybuilders do. I think this is two things that I think most athletes do this. They retire too late. They always think they have one more in them, one more in them, one more in them. I could do this. I could do this. Now, don't get me wrong. Breon is a God gifted talent. And the other thing I think they do is they don't have anything else to occupy them like bodybuilding occupies them. You have to set up for your future. Now, I don't know if he set up for his future or not. I have no idea. But
Right.
I do know that when you're getting ready for a bodybuilding contest, especially at that level, you don't have the time or the energy to put into a second career choice. And Sergio Oliva Jr. showed that when he was competing and he started his supplement company and his clothing company, and he just couldn't handle it because he was fucking doing both.
Right.
And, that much I do know, and I think that's a problem for a lot of athletes. They don't know when to hang it up. It's like okay, dude. Like, all right, it's time. At the same
Like,
time,
like just like this. Just look at Flex Lewis.
right,
Flex
right,
Lewis was already starting to make a career, like kind of the
right,
transition.
right.
And then he was like, you know what?
Yeah, we're done here.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, Flex, Fuad, a lot of the guys have taken advantage and made great second careers. And I think that's in order to be, especially an athlete. And an athlete, a lot of people don't understand the mindset of an athlete. It's all about win, 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 win. And they'll do anything to win. And they need healthy competition in order to thrive. And if that's not replaced, you almost become a shell of yourself. And I think business is where you need to thrive, whether it's a gym, a supplement company, clothing line, whatever the case may be,
Well,
podcasting, and
think about this. I found this out from watching Bro Chat. Jose Raymond is still personal trainer. He was personal trainer as he was going through the Olympia.
yeah.
He's like, yeah, those measly little $3,000 to $5,000 a month checks wasn't really cutting it.
Yeah, that's
He said, I
unbelievable.
still had to work.
Yeah, these guys make.
And he said he had 60 clients a week.
Yeah, these guys make big money. Just
But
because
like,
of the name that they are. Your name is your brand, right? Your
yeah,
name, let's say your podcast, and it has every possibility of happening. Your podcast blows up already. I mean, you're already getting endorsements and so on and so forth. Once your name is your brand, then you could put your face or name on anything bodybuilding related, and it will work. So, and Cutler showed us that. Cutler came on my show and had an interview, and he said, anything I do
which was
bodybuilding
a great
related.
interview. A lot of people don't respect that, but that was a great interview.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I thought it was going to do better because I didn't. I talked the first half was all about mostly business ventures, which is I know he's good at. But he basically said the only businesses that fail are the ones that I'm not in bodybuilding. Like he had a bullet casing manufacturing company he had to sell, and he sold the equipment and so on and so forth. But everything that is bodybuilding related takes off because he's Jay Cutler. So if you're able to if you're able to create your brand, which in some small way is what I'm trying to do, right? Because I have my job. I'm able to retire at the age of 60, and I'm 46 now. So I'm trying to hopefully create a brand that when I go into maybe open a gym or buy a studio to do this out of, that I'll be able to bring over a following, and it's not easy to do. It takes a lot of time, especially if you're a nobody and you don't have money to promote it from the beginning, like big money,
Exactly.
But I don't know. All right, what else we got?
So I don't know if you watched this. Now this just happened. So they did a Train with Nick contest, Nick Walker.
Okay.
And this happened, I guess, right before the Olympia prep started. The video finally came out for it. The guy, you had a, probably I think it was like you bought $100 worth of stuff from Hostel. Your name got picked. Okay.
Oh, I got you.
And the guy, they flew the kid down.
Right.
And it was you definitely tell it was a young guy,
Right.
Young guy. So the guy gets to train with Nick and Kamal.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right. At MI40, and guess what they're going to hit?
Legs. Yeah. So that's
right?
that's like a high school football player going to play with fucking, and two NFL superstars. Why would you?
Wait, no, so the best thing, the kid goes, I don't know where we're training, and it goes, Nick's like, oh, we're training legs. But before he even said we're going to train legs, Nick goes, hey, nice to meet you. And he starts, being nice. He goes, you ready to die?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
And he put him through his typical quad day workout.
We couldn't keep up with it.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And
right. And Nick's looking at him, like, he's like, you're lucky you're here.
Yeah.
Because the tempo is raised a lot higher with me and Kamal.
Yeah.
He's like, Kamal and I never talk.
Right.
Like, the only time we talk is more reps, more plates, or whatever.
Right.
And Nick's like, at the very end, the kid asked questions later to the workout.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I just want to thank you for the opportunity, yada, yada, yada. And Nick's like, hey, the guy didn't talk. I like that.
Right. Yeah.
And then, Kamal explained, like, what he does. And Nick was also explaining, like, I'm taking my intensity with Kamal's volume and putting it in the middle.
Yeah.
Because Kamal's like a guy who does high volume, but not really top sets. Like,
I gotcha.
So he'll keep a couple on the hole because he was saying it's like a lot of stuff is noticed is 12 to 15 reps.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still going heavy,
right,
but it's not a top set. Like,
right, I hear what you're saying. It's not right.
And what they'll do is sometimes they'll even do a back off set.
Okay.
So they'll let's just say, example, Nick's doing 12 plates,
mm-hmm.
but they might do 12 plates and they might back it down to like 10 plates for 30 reps.
Oh, okay. That's
You know what I'm saying?
fucking
Like,
that. Now that is, I mean, that's just like put a fucking bullet in my head. I mean, that's just, because it's not 30 easy reps. It's by the time they get to 20, they're ready to throw up. Do you know what I
well,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
that's what happened. He goes, they kind of yelled. It was like, yo, get it done. Come on. Yeah. And then, but like, this
yeah.
is why Nick is where he is
Right, right, right,
compared to somebody else.
right, 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 right. And
And
Kamal,
it's just,
you
and when you
gotta,
watch that, you're like,
you
oh,
gotta.
yeah, it's on a hostile channel. You got to watch
Well,
it
I'll check it out. I'll check
because
it
the
out.
kid's like this. He's like, all right, he's like all nice and nervous. He goes, I'm a little nervous. And he's like, show my friends your video and everything like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're training with that guy? He goes, no, that's Kamal. He goes, you're training with that guy. He's like, holy shit,
yeah,
And,
yeah, 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 yeah. That's
and
funny.
like I said, talking to them, I've met a lot of those guys.
That's great.
I'm not really starstruck, which is one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it looks like, and the funny thing is, most of the if I take a picture of them, they look like I'm out angling and outsizing them.
Yeah. But that's not the truth. Yeah.
Right. So they're like, oh, all right, what's up? They
Right,
don't care.
right, 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 right.
I think the only person, if I do ever do meet and get starstruck, would probably be Arnold.
Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, he's
I
Arnold.
mean, it's just because it's Arnold. You're like,
He's Arnold. Yeah. But
right.
one thing I'm gonna say before we get going, because unfortunately I gotta get going, is the one guy that I respect thoroughly in the sport is Kamal, because he's a guy who had to play this sport box by box, step by step. And he was a guy that had to put in years and years and years. Because what is he? Was he 50 now?
51.
Yeah, he had to put in he had to put in years and years and years and years to get to where he is. And I'm not talking 2 or 3 years. We're talking 20 years. Do you know what I mean? And the amount of respect that guy deserves is tremendous. And I'm sure behind the scenes in the bodybuilding community, unless he's a very unlikable guy, which I highly doubt, which I very, very highly doubt, because every time I saw him on an interview, it was very pleasant.
Because
He probably gets a tremendous amount of
Nick
respect.
adores him.
Yeah. Well, how can you not? He probably looks at him as like a father figure. He's 30 years older, 25 years older. He's still on top of his game like nobody's business. I mean, he did an open show and almost won. You know what I mean?
People forget about that. Like, he
Yeah.
pushed Akeem.
Yeah, right. Like he almost beat Akeem, and some people say like, he should have won. And at 51 years old to keep doing it and keep doing it the way he does it, I mean, that guy deserves all the respect in the world. And I'm sure he gets it from the guys backstage. There's no question about it.
No injuries, looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me he was 51 years old.
No, if you said 31, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Because even before I looked at him like this, he goes, wait, you're what now?
Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And he's still got gas in the tank. And he's one of the rare guys that's like a Dexter. It's like, okay, he can keep going and keep going. But he said, I think he's done next year, right?
But the good thing is, he's got 212, but he doesn't look like a disgusting, like old, like you don't see that skin looking like weird.
No. He's one of the rare guys whose stomachs didn't blow out. Even Dexter, if you look at young Dexter and older Dexter, there's a difference in his waist. You could see it.
Yeah.
You could see it. And he's one of the rare guys that his waist did not get distended at all. It's unbelievable.
He works with Aceto.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Aceto is like, I don't know. Aceto, Farah, these guys, for some reason, I don't know what it is. Like, they just don't, Hani, they just don't go away. They're just on top of their game for 20 years now. It's unbelievable.
20, 30 years. You got to think.
Yeah.
Remember, Aceto had Jay against Ryan.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And these guys, these like I said, and Farah, if Farah didn't get, if he didn't beat cancer, he just had to take a step back because he had health issues. But he jumps right back in and he takes blessing and goes, yeah, we're going to win. And just turns it around. I mean, these guys.
I think he also has Andrew Jack, too.
Does he really? Yeah, that makes sense.
I think he does, but I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because these guys they're good, man. They're good. They're the best in the world, period. And that's why they're so consistent and stay on top of their game,
Now, like I said, we're going to see with like some of these new guys, like Matt Jensen. He's on, he's out of those guys. He's definitely on the rise now. He's more.
There's no question. There's some guy, yeah. There's always new guys that come in and out, but the constants are always Farah, Aceto, Hani. They're always the constants. But then there are guys that go in and out. Like remember Oscar Arden was hot for a long time.
And then we had Chad Nichols.
And Chad Nichols was hot for a long time. He kind of reinvented himself with Ramy, but for a long time he didn't have any big guys in his caliber for a while. Jordan Peters was another one where it was just like he was hot, and there's a lot of guys that were. Was it Tudor? Is he still?
Yeah, Patrick.
Patrick Tudor. I mean, is he still relevant? I'm not even 100%
Yeah,
sure.
he has Ian.
Okay, so he has Ian, but
because he had James last year.
He had James. He had Nick, right? Did he have Nick?
No, he didn't have Nick. Nick was Matt Jansen.
Right, Matt Jansen. I'm sorry. So yeah, Matt Jansen, I see having a solid future.
Because Matt, if you notice legally, if you see Matt's clients,
yeah, they're all
coming fucking peeled.
Yeah, peeled full. He's he's
girls and boys.
Oh, and here's another one that's always a constant. Milos is always a constant.
Yeah.
Milos is always. And you know what's funny is it drives me fucking crazy. And then I really got to go.
Okay.
I hate when I talk to young guys in the gym and they're following like YouTube sensations, and I'm like, dude, guys, you're following the wrong guys.
Oh, you mean like Brad Castleberry?
Yeah, right. And they're following guys like that, and it's like, dude, you follow this one? I'm like, no, man, you gotta, follow the guys that have done something. And unfortunately, the guys that have done something are in their 50s because it takes time to hone your craft.
No, the best ones I'd say is this. I mean, I never seen if you really look at certain things, C-Bum has the biggest fan base I've ever seen in my freaking life, besides Arnold.
Yeah.
People follow him so much, but they forget everybody else. They're like, one guy at the gym, at the gym I go to. He was like, "Oh yeah, I follow C-Bum." I was like, "Do you know who his brother-in-law?" He goes, "No." He said his brother-in-law coaches him. He goes, "Who's that?" That's Ian.
Yeah, they have no clue.
And they're like,
and what's odd about C-Bum? Yeah, they have no idea who. What's odd about C-Bum is he's not really charismatic. I mean, he looks good on stage. Don't get me wrong; he's a great classic physique dude. What I really think, I think the fan base comes from the fact that these young guys think that classic physique is more attainable. When they see a freak, they go, "Oh, they say, oh, they inside they say I can't do that," but outside they're going, "Oh, I would never want to look like that." And you're full of shit. Nobody goes to the gym and wants to be Spider-Man. Everybody wants to be the Hulk. But which is odd because he's not very charismatic. He's very soft spoken, so on and so forth. He doesn't do crazy antics or anything like that. And I'm like, I get it, and I don't understand the following. I don't understand where it's coming from.
What do you guys think? A lot of his followers are 18 to 21,
right?
Under 175 pounds.
Yeah. But even I was always a bigger fan of that's because I'm a bodybuilding fan. But I always like Breon's physique better because he has more of a bodybuilding physique, and it's not traditionally classic, if you will. But it's just odd because I'm trying to figure out where the following comes from, and it's like I don't.
But what it is? He taps into his awkwardness.
Is that what it is? He's doing something right, whatever it is.
Because guess what? He grew a mullet, and all of a sudden, people are growing fucking mullets. He had that porn star mustache. People start growing porn star mustache.
I know. I can't stand that goddamn mustache.
But that's what it is. Because he looks like your average Joe. When you see him, he doesn't look like our gargantuan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You see guys like Nick. You see guys like Derek. You see guys like Ian. You see guys like Hadi. You see guys like those. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You see guys like, when you see look at Ruffin. Ruffin looks like a child to him.
Yeah.
So when you see them together, you're like, oh, what's up? You're just a regular guy.
Yeah, right.
But if you look at Clarida is like a fucking gargantuan for his short size.
Yeah. I was talking, Clarida, I love when he works out. He never wears a tank top. He wears an oversized t-shirt, oversized sweatshirt, and it just looks like a Mack truck.
Well, the funny thing is, it makes me laugh about him is that I go, Clarida, you know that shirt is supposed to be for me.
Yeah, right.
But I was like, he's like, yeah, I'm wearing a 3 to 4X shirt.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and he does it intentionally because he's got that old school mentality where he doesn't. No, he
Like
does it for.
no one needs to see it until it's game day.
Yeah, I mean he has no choice but to do it for social media. I get it. But at the gym, it's sweatshirt, 3/4 sleeves.
Hey,
At the
well,
most.
we haven't talked to him. Remember, he
Doesn't
got
even
a
doesn't even wear shorts. The guy
nah,
don't even wear shorts.
and he got his deal with Mutant.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He got a big deal with Mutant. Yeah, and honestly, it couldn't. His endorsements and his business dealing couldn't happen to a nicer guy, man. The guy is just he's aces, man.
Class act.
Yeah, like and if anybody should have a big head, it should be him, but it just doesn't happen. Because think about it, he came from a modest background. He came from everybody saying, you're too small. There's no way. There's no fucking way. Everybody. I mean, you came from, and then all of a sudden, like, and the years and years later, and of course, his wife believing in him and having a good crew and good people behind him, and the drive, and of course the talent. He proved everybody wrong, and he's still the nicest, as modest guy you ever want to fucking. I mean, when you have an intimate conversation with him, he knows that he could beat these guys.
Oh yeah, when you get to him in a setting where no, like if he
Yeah.
trusts you,
Right.
he'll
Yeah.
speak his shit.
Yeah. If he knows deep down he could beat Kamal. He knows that if Derek were to come down to 212, he can beat him. He knows that he could beat the 99.9% of fucking 212 guys out there, if not
And
100%. You know.
and
Um,
apparently that's the same way as Chris too. That's what they said. C Bum is the same way. Like
okay. Okay.
so he's like this. I'm gonna kill those motherfuckers.
Right.
And like and that's what Ian said. He goes to him, nicest guy, didn't take bathroom break. You know when they hit the visits, whatever, right?
Right.
But he says when they leave, he's like, I'm going to kill them all.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like I'll play nice, but I'll take your head off too. All right, Ian. Listen, thank you very much, brother.
No problem, man. Listen, I'm just going to plug this real quick.
Go ahead.
If you guys go to Bulk Supplements, use the code Body by Ian. You make sure you get you guys a discount on there. And John, I just want to say thank you for having me on again. It's been a long time since we've done this.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Bulk Supplements. Do they have a website?
Yes, dude. Bulksupplements.com.
Okay, so
Bulksupplements.com.
in the description, I will put the bulksupplements.com and your discount Body by Ian.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll make sure it's.
And also thank you for the kind words. I didn't, I was that was a shocker right there. You threw me for a loop for that one.
That's all right, man. It's the truth. I don't have people on that I don't respect, and I don't lie. And even if I say, if you ever watch my interviews, even if I say something negative, I do it a very respectful way.
Yeah.
And I don't lie. And what I said was the God's honest truth. I don't think enough people understand how good you really are in the gym and the supplementation. I don't think they realize it. All right, brother. Listen, let me go.
All right, man. We'll talk later.
All right, later.
Later.